Hi, my name's Danielle. I'm 23 years old and I live in upstate New York, and I am a total nerd. I play video games, I collect nerdy toys, I make nerdy things out of clay. It really doesn't get much more nerdy than me. I even have a nerdy tattoo. What is that? Like, who gets World of Warcraft tattooed on themselves? No one. Me, I guess. I don't know.
And how did you get into this?
You know, gaming has been something that I've always done. I remember playing video games when I was like in elementary school and even growing up in middle school and high school. But when I like entered my adult life and wasn't living with my parents anymore, I had a lot of spare time, and my fiance played video games, and it was like, it was just a match made in heaven, I guess, because it went from me casually playing video games, like, you know, maybe in the evenings, to like waking up playing video games before I work, getting home immediately playing video games until the wee hours of the morning, going to bed and restarting over again.
What are some of the your experiences with people, you know, taking a look at you and then you tell them you're a full-time YouTube gamer, like with their reactions and whatnot?
Well, I mean, the whole full-time YouTube thing is a strange enough entity in its own, because there's only about 1,000 to 1,500 people who are full-time YouTubers. So that in itself is always kind of like a take back to people, not to mention the amount of time you spend on the internet doing something like that. I mean, it's definitely easy for the average person to judge someone who spends 12 to 16 hours on the internet every day. It's less surprising for people now because I have super colorful hair and I have like nerdy tattoos, and I'm very outward about like my nerdiness. I wear nerdy clothes and stuff, but I used to just be like average Joe, like blonde hair, and nobody saw it coming at all. I'd be like, they'd be like, oh, you want to go to a party? You want to go shopping? You want to do something? I'd be like, oh, sorry, I'm leveling my druid. And that was always like a misunderstanding between me and a lot of people.
Tell me about your YouTube channel. How many subscribers, you know, everything YouTube oriented terminology with it.
Sure, I have a YouTube channel. My main channel is youtube.com/TradeChat. It currently has over 107,000 subscribers, and I get about 1 million to 1.5 million views every month. My videos are mainly about World of Warcraft and Blizzard games, though I do other nerdy stuff as well. I have a secondary channel where I vlog, and I feel like my vlogs are like inspirational vlogs for nerds, just saying like, oh, I know you're nerdy and people might judge you now, but just in the long run, like, you're going to be happier being yourself, so like don't just do whatever you need to do. And then I actually have a third channel where I do like nerdy crafts.
Please tell me about some of your nerdy crafts.
So here, I'll put them up to the camera so you can see them. This is a clay figure that I made. It's like an exact model of my mage in World of Warcraft. I also have a Pikachu that I made. And then I don't know if you're a StarCraft buff at all, but I made a pylon and a photon cannon. It's a problem, really. I'm working on some charm bracelets right now that they have like a Minecraft block, and they have a Kirby, and they have a Hearthstone from World of Warcraft. I really like bringing all of those things that I see through a screen that are not tangible and making them something that I can like hold and touch, and it just feels so real. It's really nerdy.
So list me off. Tell me about your biochemistry experience, your schooling, and you know how you went to school and studied that for a bit of time.
Sure, I did like really well in high school, so I enrolled in a private college, Utica College in upstate New York, and they were building this science center, and I was offered a little bit better of a scholarship if I majored in chemistry. So I started out majoring in chemistry, and one of the core classes for a chemistry major is biology. And when I started taking biology, I realized that I liked biology better than chemistry, but I still liked chemistry. So then I like dual majored biology and chemistry, and I was actually doing very well. I liked those as majors in college because you spend a lot of time in lab. It's a lot less like studying out of books and a lot more of like on-hand stuff. I actually really enjoyed college. I wasn't able to finish because I moved out right when I was 18 years old, and I didn't have any help from anybody. And while I was going through college, I was working 2 jobs. I worked as a waitress, and I also worked at a Humane Society as an animal behaviorist. So it was just too much of a workload. I dropped out, but I do plan on going back, and especially being that I'm full-time YouTube now, once I get settled, I would really like to go back for maybe something in journalism or communications or new media or marketing. I haven't really decided yet.
So list me off, be like, so basically if I had to summarize my nerdy passions, they would include
So if I had to like sum up everything that makes me a nerd, first and foremost, World of Warcraft has my heart. I spend far too much time playing that game. At this point, I think I have 6 played months in the game. It's really bad. StarCraft, League of Legends, Minecraft. I have hundreds and hundreds of hours in Minecraft. I own all the current gen consoles, most of the previous gen consoles. I love comic book and nerdy movies like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, the Marvel movies. Like I said, I love to like take these things like nerd pop culture and make them with clay and do stuff like that. I'm currently building a Muppet. I'm pretty sure that's fairly nerdy. I went to 16 different schools and I was always the new kid, and I always got made fun of because I was always really, really smart. Like I was always the first one with my hand raised in school. I was doing the homework the second the teacher gave it to me before I even got home. I was always really, really smart. So I got made fun of a lot for being nerdy, and I spent a lot of time trying to hide my nerdiness and pretend I wasn't nerdy. And then it was like I hit 19, 20 years old, and I was just like, you know what? That's who I am, and I'm going to embrace it, and that's what I'm going to do. So it seems like now it's almost obsessive how much like I love being a nerd. I love it. I'm like a spokeswoman for nerds around the world.
Do you do cosplay?
I do. Well, I haven't yet. Technically, I have not yet. But this E3, I am cosplaying as Pikachu.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Danielle, how competitive are you?
You know, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a competitive person in all aspects of life. I really like to be the person that people compare to, like, oh, well, you did it this way, but Danielle did it that way. But as far as actual gaming, gaming is more of a hobby for me, and it's more of something that I do to relax. So like, I'm not the type of person to like get super, super into it and be like, I have to be the best, I have to be pro, MLG, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not my scene at all, and that's fine. But like, that being said, it's really important to me to like be the best that I can be at whatever I'm doing. It's not really about the people that I'm competing with, it's about competing with myself.
How would your best friends or your family describe you?
I would say one of the first words that would come to mind would be like nerdy or geeky. I'm very loud, I'm very passionate, I am very, I feel like I'm enthusiastic, and I can get people pumped up, and I can get people excited about the things they were doing. I feel like I'm also very persuasive. Like I can talk people into doing things like play video games like World of Warcraft that have such a stigma attached to them. Like I can make people think they're cool when really it's debatable. I'm also really, really, really fiercely loyal.
You know, have you ever gotten into a nerdy debate before?
I would say that my nerdy debates come more with like, I really dislike when people argue about whether people are gamers or not. Like that's a big topic, especially with females, like girl gamers. There's such a stigma attached to that. And in order for a girl to be accepted as a gamer, they have to sit here and list off every game they've ever played, every achievement they've ever had. And I'm very against the whole like, girls need to be bros in order to be accepted as girl gamers. I don't understand this whole like girls need to be genderless in order to be respected for being a nerd or whatever. I'm very just, it bothers me so much. The girl gamer topic is so strange because you just have to constantly prove yourself being a girl in this type of demographic.
You're the type of person that you're always changing your hair color and like
I do. I change my hair a lot, although I think it's going to be red for a while. I dyed it red for the Pikachu cosplay, because your options for Pikachu cosplay are red, yellow, or black. Black doesn't come out. I can't imagine yellow looking good. But it's funny, because as you can see, it's like my natural hair color is pink, I think. I had pink hair for about a year, and it just doesn't come out. Everything that I've dyed over, it's just faded to pink. It's crazy. So my natural hair color is pink. I think I'm half elf or something.
What is your very most favorite item that if someone stole from you or, you know, if you misplaced it, you would freak out?
Nintendo 64 Special Edition Pikachu. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I used to work at a retro game store, and someone brought this in to trade in, and I bought it off of him for $12. And it's like my favorite thing that I own. It had the controller and Pokemon Snap and the jump pack, and I just couldn't. It's like my favorite thing that I own. I don't even use it because I'm afraid that like if I use it too much it might break or something. It just like sits on a shelf on display, and I just look at it and its prettiness. It's like my favorite thing that I own. It really is. My Pikachu addiction, Nintendo 64. Probably closely followed by my Halo 3 Special Edition Xbox 360.
You're so amazing. It's like right when I think I've listed off everything that you do, there's You gotta stick Halo in there.
Oh my gosh, no, I had a gamer tag that got banned because it was, the name was slightly vulgar, I guess, in some people's eyes. But at the time it got banned, I had 6,500 ranked games played.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was really, I went through a little bit of a Halo addiction for a while. Like, it was pretty bad. It was literally like stay up till 4 in the morning playing Halo, go to bed until 6, go to class, do whatever, come home on lunch, play Halo. Like, Halo was, I was pretty competitive when I played Halo. That's kind of why I gave that one a break, because there's games that are stress relievers and there's games that are stress inducers. Halo is an inducer. Halo will have you throwing things, screaming, people outside watching you in the window, you look crazy, yelling at nothing.
Do you have any hidden talents? Speak different languages? Can you...
No, you'd think with the amount of Korean dramas and K-pop that I watch that I would be fluent in Korean by now, but no. No. I wish I spoke another language. I can say the alphabet backwards. That's not really a talent. Darn.
That's pretty good. Can you do it really fast?
Oh yeah. ZYXWTUVSRQPONMLKJIHGFEDCBA. Yeah, I know.
Pretty much amazing.
Yeah, oh yeah. Learned that on lamb chops when I was like 4.
Tell me something about the solar system.
The solar system? Well, I'm still pretty pissed about the whole Pluto not being a planet thing, especially since when I was like in 4th grade, there was like extra planets. We had like Planet X, and then I grow up, and all of a sudden now we have less planets. I don't really understand how all that works. The whole solar system thing, that's scary though. I watch movies sometimes about going into space, and it's just, man, more power to astronauts, because that is terrifying. Could you imagine being in a spaceship that like lost power in outer space? I'd die. I'd just die of fear.
I could talk to you for literally all night. What about Star Wars, Star Trek?
I am definitely a Trek head more than a Star Wars fan. I know that's like blasphemous in the nerd community. Like, this is one of those debates. You got to be careful what you tell people. You tell people I like Star Trek better than Star Wars, and you got people rioting at your door. But my grandparents and my dad and my whole family is definitely Star Trek. It's funny, I often watch like the original Star Trek with like William Shatner in it, like, because I have dual monitors, and I'll have one monitor. This is not even a joke. I can say I've done this within the last 2 weeks. One monitor going with like original Star Trek, one monitor like grinding something out in World of Warcraft. That happens. It's so bad. Who does that? It's so nerdy. The original Star Trek was good though. The Next Generation was really good too. I would definitely say Star Trek is greater than Star Wars. There's even Star Trek references in World of Warcraft.
Being a Trek head, is that the minority?
I don't necessarily think that's true. I think it's more like cool to be into Star Wars. I really think there's more of like a general pop culture outside of like everybody knows who Darth Vader is. Not everybody knows who like Geordi LaForge is. So I think it's just more like socially acceptable to be into Star Wars. And that's not to say I don't like Star Wars, because I have zero things against Star Wars. I enjoyed the movies. Like, it's not anything like that. It's literally that I grew up in a family where we had like a U.S. Enterprise ornament on our Christmas tree. That's a thing. Did you know they make those? That's a thing.
Have you ever received any awards or acknowledgement for your achievements?
Well, I mean, in general, in video games, I mean, there's always that sense of accomplishment when it pops up and it says achievement earned, or when you ding and you get another level, or when you get a positive kill-death ratio in a first-person shooter, or when you get to the end of an RPG and you get to see the end of it. But I mean, as far as like, have I ever won any like competitive gaming awards? Like, I'm not ashamed to say that I haven't, but I don't think there's many people who can say like, I talk about video games on the internet and 100,000 people watch me do it. I feel like that is an accomplishment in itself, and I'm very proud of that.